The cabin hummed with the steady rhythm of the engines, a kind of lullaby for most of the passengers. Row 12 felt ordinary, like any other section of the plane, but in seat 12F a little girl sat with her sneakers barely touching the floor. She hugged her backpack close, the way kids do when it holds something more important than clothes, maybe a sketchbook, maybe a photo tucked inside. Beside her, her father adjusted his tie, the kind of man who looked like he was supposed to be in control of every situation, yet his eyes softened whenever he looked at her. He leaned down, his voice just for her. "I'm just your +1 today, princess. Remember, this moment, it's really about you." She gave him a puzzled smile, not quite sure what he meant. Moments later, a flight attendant paused at their row. At first, it looked like any routine check, but then her expression shifted, half awe, half disbelief. She crouched slightly, speaking softly. "Excuse me, are you call sign Starlight?" The girl's eyes widened, her lips parting in surprise. She nodded, small and shy, but certain. Passengers nearby tilted their heads, murmurs rippling through the cabin like a wave. Before she could ask what was happening, the windows filled with motion, two sleek, gray shapes sliding into formation just outside. The gasps came all at once. F-22 Raptors, flying so close you could see the pilots inside, their helmets turned toward the girl in 12F. Her hand rose to the glass instinctively, fingertips trembling as if she could touch the sky itself, and for the first time, everyone on board realized this flight was carrying more than passengers. It was carrying history. The captain's voice broke through the cabin speakers, calm but carrying a weight that silenced every whisper. "Ladies and gentlemen, today we are honored to have a very special passenger on board. In seat 12F sits someone whose name has traveled farther than any of us could imagine." All eyes turned toward the little girl, her cheeks glowing pink under the sudden attention. The captain continued, his tone reverent. "She carries the call sign Starlight, a name once painted on the wings of her mother's fighter jet. Today, the Air Force recognizes her, not only as the daughter of a hero but as the keeper of a legacy that lights our skies." Gasps and murmurs rolled through the rows like a current. Some passengers already had tears in their eyes. Outside the window, the F-22 Raptors shifted into perfect symmetry. Their wings dipped in unison, a gesture of respect few civilians had ever seen. The pilots' helmets turned, and though their faces were hidden, their posture spoke volumes. They weren't escorting a plane, they were saluting a child. Inside the cabin, strangers rose from their seats as if pulled by the same invisible thread, clapping, some with hands trembling, some pressing tissues to their faces. The little girl pressed her palm flat against the glass, her lips forming a whisper no one else could hear. "Hi, Mom." At that moment, it became clear, this wasn't just recognition, it was remembrance. Every passenger felt it in their bones. They weren't witnessing a ceremony, they were part of something eternal. The plane had long since landed, but the weight of the moment still clung to everyone who walked down the jet bridge. Cameras clicked, hands reached out to shake the father's, but he seemed to see only his daughter. On the tarmac, the F-22s that had flown beside them were parked in precise formation, their engines cooling, their presence still commanding awe. The little girl clutched her father's hand as if afraid the world might take her away now that everyone knew who she was. He knelt in front of her, his businesslike posture gone, his suit wrinkled, his tie loosened, just a man stripped of every role but one. His voice was thick, almost breaking. I thought I needed someone to help me walk through this life, to fill the space your mom left. I thought maybe I had to find someone to make us whole again." She blinked at him, confused at first, then softened as tears welled in her eyes. He brushed her hair back with a trembling hand. "But today you showed me something I didn't see before. We already carry her, in your name, in your call sign, in the way you look at the sky. She's here, and so are we. That's enough. That's forever." His voice cracked, and for a moment he couldn't go on. The girl threw her arms around his neck, burying her face in his shoulder. "Then can I start forever now, Dad? With you," she whispered. He held her so tightly it was as if he could anchor her to the earth itself. Above them, the roar returned. Those Raptors once again streaking across the horizon, leaving contrails that bent into the shape of a glowing heart. The crowd below gasped, but the father and daughter didn't look up. They didn't need to. Forever had already begun.